the fourth verse of Sri Siksastakam. So we will quickly pray to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and offer our prayers to Srila Prabhupada, by whose causeless mercy we even know that there's something called Siksastakam, and if we have dared to even hear about the intricacies of the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is just because of Srila Prabhupada. So with his blessings, let's discuss. In last class, for the fourth verse, we have discussed all the Sanskrit commentaries. So there's a very profound, elaborate Bengali commentary by Sri Radha Govindanath Goswami on the fourth verse. We are going to discuss that. And then today we are going to see what is actually renunciation and how Dhanam and Janam in context for grihasthas. Can grihasthas really say na dhanam, na janam? So how do we apply this principle of the fourth verse to our everyday Krishna conscious sadhana? So we will see till janam today. The remaining may be in the next class, because we will complete by 5:10 today, because Prabhu is going out. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More. Tuma bina ke dayalu jagat samsare patita pavana hetu तव अवतार मुसमापतिता प्रभु न पाइबे हा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपा बलोकाना करो आमी बोरु दुखी Doya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosa Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nita Aha Swarup Sanatana Bhattara Gunada Bhattajug Aha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Bhattajuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanath Daya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangha Mage Narottama Dasa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Tuma bina ke doyalu Jagat samsare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine नामश्रेष्ठम् अनुमपि शचीपुत्रमत्र स्वरूपं रूपं तस्याग्रजमुरुपुरीं मातुरीं गोष्ठवाटीं राधाकुण्डं गिरिवरमहो राधिका माधवाशां प्राप्तो यस्य प्रतितकृपया श्रीगुरुं तं नतोऽस्मि। कृष्णादन्यमजानतक्षणमपि स्वप्नेऽपि विश्वेश्वरे तस्मिन् भक्तिमहैतु किं विदधतो हृत्काय वाग्भिः सदा। श्रीलान् सद्गुणपुञ्जकेलिनिलयान् प्रेमावतारानहं वन्दे भागवतानिमाननुलभं मूर्ध्ना निपत्यक्षितौ आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ। जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गोर्मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। एकेन चक्रमपरेण करेण शङ्खम् अन्येन सिन्धुतनयामवलम्ब्य तिष्ठन् वामेतरेण वरदाभयपद्मचिह्नं लक्ष्मी नृसिंह मम देहि करावलम्बम्। आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभदिव्यच्छ विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। कृष्णोत्कीर्तनगाननर्तनकला पातो जनिभ्राजिता सद्भक्तावलिहंसचक्रमधुप श्रेणीविहारास्पदम् कर्णानन्दिक्कलध्वनिर्वहतु मे जिह्वामरुप्राङ्गणे श्रीचैतन्यदयानिधे तव लसल् लीलासुधास्वर्धुनी श्रीचैतन्यदयानिधे तव लसल् लीलासुधास्वर्धुनी हृद्वप्रे नवभक्तिसस्य वितते सञ्जीवनी स्वागम रम्भे कामतपर्तुदाहदमनि विश्वापगोल्लासिनी दूरान्मे मधुशाकिनोऽपि सरसि भावाय भूयात् प्रभु श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्य कादम्बिनी प्रभु श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्य कादम्बिनी. The Madhurya Kadambini, the cloud bank of nectar that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura is talking of here, the mercy, the causeless mercy, the Nirankushamaha, the completely independent mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, exquisitely sweet nectar, is definitely one of the showers is Sri Siksastakam. So let's recite the fourth verse and then discuss more on the fourth verse. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि. This is the fourth verse. We have seen that after the third verse, Mahaprabhu is diving deeper into a state of dainya, humility. His humility is increasing more and more, and he feels that he cannot chant the Harinam in Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna mood. So he is the very source of Shuddha Bhakti. But why is the Lord saying like that? It is the nature of prema that as prema, as pure love for the Lord increases, the humility or dainya also increases. They are directly proportional. The more the prema, the more the dainya. The more pure a devotee becomes, the more um, uh, um, sweet his intentions towards the Lord become, the more humble and morose a devotee will tend to become. So in today's class, we are also going to discuss the relationship between this prema and dainya. So before that, let's recite the verse once again. We have discussed that this verse, the fourth verse, is in a chandas called Vyogini or Sundari. And this is a Ardha Samavrita. In alternate lines, we have the first and the third lines have 11 syllables, and the second and the fourth lines have 10 syllables. So this is the Vyogini Chanda. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while reciting these prayers, he was actually living in the Gambira. And he's living in the Gambira, and he's going to Jagannatha Swami every day and taking darshan. So, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitamba, jagadisha kamaye. The word jagadisha in this, most of the acharyas who have commented on Sri Siksastakam, on this verse of Siksastakam, have translated jagadisha as Jagannatha, the Nilachala Lord, the Supreme Lord, who's who's there in the Puri Dham, Jagannatha. So Jagadisha Kama means, oh Jagannatha, this is what I want. That is how it's been translated. And he's praying for pure bhakti alone. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this verse, he's praying for pure bhakti alone. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundari, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. Mama janmani janmanishwari, birth after birth, oh Supreme Lord, I only want your bhakti. So, O Jagannatha, I desire na dhanam, neither wealth, na janam, nor followers, na sundarim, nor a beautiful spouse, va, nor kavitam. Kavita means poetic ability. No, to talk in a flowery way, to write flowery words like that. And Janmani Janmani, in each and every birth, Mama of mine, Ahaituki Bhakti Tvai Ishware, O Supreme Lord, O Ishvara, Bhavatat, let there be Ahaituki Bhakti towards you, causeless Bhakti towards you. So here we have discussed last time that some acharyas have taken the word Sundari as a separate noun to indicate a beautiful spouse. Some acharyas have taken Sundarim as an adjective to Kavitam, with the meaning being beautiful poetry. One second. I'm really sorry, Mataji. Please forgive me. Some acharyas have explained Sundarim and Kavitam separately. Some acharyas have combined both Sundarim and Kavitam to indicate beautiful poetry or flowery words of the Vedas. And Bhavatar, it is actually supposed to be Bhavatu. But why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used the word Bhavatar? We have discussed that also elaborately. Bhavatar is actually respecting the Vyogini meter. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted the chandas also to be correct. So he is using Bhavatar instead of Bhavatu. And both mean same. Let there be. Let there be pure devotion unto you. So now let us look at how Sri Radha Govindanath is explaining this verse. He is interpreting the third phrase in two ways. He is also explaining Sundarim and Kavitam separately. And he also states that these two words can be taken together to mean that Sundarim Kavita, beautiful poet. So let's see what is telling. Ishware, na dhanam na janam. I do not ask for wealth or followers. Oh Jagadisha, at your feet, I do not beg for wealth or followers. I am not requesting you for wealth or followers. Na sundarim kavitamba. I do not even pray for beautiful poetry, ornate verses, or the poetic power to captivate the minds of people. So I am not asking for poetic ability and poetic power to. So here first he has taken sundarim and kavitam together. Sundarim is an adjective to kavitam. And he also says another meaning for na sundarim kavitamba is I do not pray for a beautiful spouse or the power of poetry. So he has explained this verse in both ways. So then what is it that you are asking? You don't want money, you don't want followers, and then you don't want a beautiful wife, then you don't want poetic abilities, that means you don't want fame. And then what is it that you want? Ishware, O Supreme Lord, Bhavatat Bhakti Rahaituki, O Krishna, by your mercy, please grant me pure bhakti. This is my only prayer at your lotus feet. O Jagadisha, if you wish, you can give anyone whatever they desire. He is all powerful. He is Varadaraja, right? So he can give anybody, anyone, anything. But Bhagavan, I want nothing else at your feet. I only want pure devotion. Even Damodrashkam Satyavrata Muni is also telling, like, your Varam Deva Moksham na Mokshavadim va na Chanyam Grihet. Varam Deva Moksham na Mokshavadim va. He's calling Krishna as Varesha. No, he is capable of giving any boon. But the boon what the devotees want is only pure devotion onto his lotus feet. Now he is giving, he first told what all he doesn't want. And then he told what he wants. And now he's telling why he does not want what he does not want. Yeah, first he said he does not want wealth. He's asking, I do not want wealth because intoxicated by the pride of wealth, a living being becomes blind towards you and forgets your words. When that Shriya Mada is there, when the pride caused by Shri, the opulence is there, then the living entity will forget you. Because I do not want to forget you, my Lord, I do not want wealth. And then he's asking na Janam. Here he's interpreting Janam as not only followers, but also sons, daughters, wife, relatives, all these people he's calling them as Janam. I do not pray for sons, daughters, or servants or relatives because being absorbed in these temporary things will only pull me further away from you, the ultimate truth. In being attached to all these people and in indulging with them, I will go away from you. That is the reason I do not want Janam. Then I do not want the power to compose beautiful poetry, nor the power to write ornate literature, nor a beautiful spouse, nor poetic genius, as these will only give rise to vain pride and idle obsession. Everybody will appreciate me when I do that, and then I will become proud. If I become proud, then I'll go away from you because all these things, Janma Ishwarya Shuta Shribit, Yedamana Mada Puman, Naivarhatya Bidatum Vai, Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Kunti Maharani also told that these four are a disqualification in devotional service. So, Radha Govinda Natha Goswami is telling that in these verses, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is refusing all these things. Then he says, Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware. I want nothing else. I want causeless bhakti. Oh most merciful Sri Krishna, please grant me your mercy, so that birth after birth I may have causeless devotion at your feet. So when he's using the word Janmani Janmani, that means birth after birth, he's not telling let this be my last birth. That means he does not want moksha also. He is not asking for liberation. He is okay to take birth again and again. And actually, Prahalada also, he prays like this. In Vishnu Purana, there is a verse which says that, Natha Janma Sahasreshu Yeshu Yeshu Bhavamyaham Teshu Teshu Achyuta Bhaktir Achyutastu Sadatvayi. So he's telling, oh Lord, Janma Sahasreshu, in thousands of births that I may take, Yeshu Yeshu Bhavamyaham, where and where I may be born, Teshu Teshu Achyuta Bhaktir Achyutasu Sadatvayi. Oh Achyuta, may I have infallible devotion unto you. May I never fail as your devotee. May I always be your devotee. Let me take thousands of births, but let me always be your devotee. That is Prahalad's prayer. Mm, that, That is Prahlad's prayer from Vishnu Purana. O Lord, in each and every one of the thousands of births that I accept in this world, please let me have unfailing devotion towards you, the infallible Supreme Lord. So, as long as the desire for material enjoyment is there, as long for this desire for material enjoyment remains in the heart, pure devotion cannot arise in any heart. Why are they specifying so much about I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this, I don't want that? In the third verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told us what are all required. The required qualities for chanting the holy names in correctly. In the fourth verse, he is telling in third one is the vidhis, and the fourth one is the nishedas. What all we should prevent. Suppose we have some disease, we have to take the medicine, but we should also not eat apatya. So pachan cheyandi అని చెప్తారు. So you should eat only that is recommended. You should not eat something that will aggravate your disease. So when medicine and diet go together, then the rogi recovers quickly. Similarly, the fourth verse tells what all will aggravate our material disease further. So all these four things, Dhanam, Jannam, Sundarim, and Kavitam, all these Mahaprabhu is asking the Supreme Lord, I do not want this. I do not want this. Rupa Goswami also tells in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he is actually telling that desire for material enjoyment and desire for liberation are like pisachis, are like actually are like the witches. Pisachi means witch, the witches that will curb your devotional service. So he says, Bhukti Mukti Spruha Yavat Pishachi Hridi Vartate Tavat Bhakti Sukham Bodhe Katam Abhyudayo Bhavet. Bhakti is the Sukham Bodhi. It's a pleasure ocean. Ambudhi is ocean. Sukham Bodhi is pleasure ocean. Yavad means as long as what? As long as the witches call the desires for Bhukti Mukti. Rupa Goswami is not calling Bhukti or Mukti as witches. He is calling the desire for Bhukti or Mukti as witches. So as long as these desires for material enjoyment or liberation are there in one's heart, Yavad, Tavad, till that time, Bhakti Sukham Bodhe, Katam Abhyudayo Bhavet, how can the ocean of devotional service appear in one's heart? So until this Bhukti Mukti Kama goes off, one cannot become a devotee. One cannot, in one's heart, pure devotional service cannot rise. The ocean of pure devotional service, the pure bhakti will not appear in a heart where this bhukti kama and mukti kama is there. That is the reason in the fourth verse of Siksastakam, we are praying to the Supreme Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us to pray to the Supreme Lord that we do not want Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim or Kavita. In Chaitanya Charitamritam also, the context is where reciting the third verse, Mahaprabhu's humility increased so many folds. And here, like after telling about this shloka from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Radha Govindanath Goswami's commentary ends. So he told us three main things. One thing is that what all he does not need, and Sundarim and Kavitam can be taken as separately a beautiful spouse and poetic ability or beautiful poetic ability. That was the first point. And then he told why he does not want Dhanam, Janam and all these reasons. And then he also told the reason mainly why one should avoid these is that unless Bhukti Kama and Mukti Kama are cleared out of a devotee's heart, pure Bhakti does not, the ocean of pure Bhakti does not appear within the heart. And Radha Govindanath Goswami is giving examples from Prahlada's prayers from Vishnu Purana and also Rupa Goswami's prayers from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Then after this, we are discussing the verse further. Radha Govindanath Goswami's commentary ends here. And we are discussing the verse further. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited the third verse, his humility increased. So we are reading that verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kahite kahite prabhura dainya badila. Kahite kahite prabhura dainya badila shuddha bhakti krishna thani magite lagila. While reciting the previous verse, that is Trinadapi Sunichena, Mahaprabhu's humility increased. Thus he began to pay to Krishna for pure bhakti. So why is this dainya increasing? Why is Mahaprabhu immersed in so much dainya? There is a reciprocation relationship between prema and dainya. So Hariprasad Prabhu is explaining us that how as prema increases, dainya increases, and as dainya increases, prema again increases. The dependency of prema and dainya and the correlation he's nicely explaining. From the Bruhad Bhagavatamritam, he's quoting a verse, Dainyam tu paramam premnaha paripakena janyate, paripakena dainyasya premajasram vitanyate. Parasparam tayorittam karya karanatekshate. So sometimes dainya becomes the cause of prema. And then because of this increase in prema, prema is again increasing dainya. So when dainya is increasing, prema is increasing. So dainya is the cause, prema is the effect. Then when prema is increasing, then dainya is increasing. So prema is becoming the cause and dainya is becoming the effect. So this prema and dainya, sometimes they are karana, sometimes they are karya. So both are being karana and karya simultaneously, one after the other. That is the reciprocation relationship between these two factors. Translation: Dainya at its most exalted comes forth when prema, love of Sri Krishna, reaches full maturity. So when prema reaches maturity, dainya appears. And when dainya fully matures, prema unfolds without limit. So we see that dainya and prema are acting in a relationship in which both are cause and both are effect. So dainya is causing prema, prema is causing further dainya, dainya is causing further prema. In this way, they both are very, very deeply and interconnected. When we discussed in last class from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Anuvritti, the second part of his commentary, he told how the Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim and Kavitam are actually corresponding to the four Purusharthas. We say Chaturvida Purusharthas, Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha. How these four things are connected to the Purusharthas, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained to us. Na dhanam, when we are saying no wealth, that means it is related to the Artha Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Artha. So Artha Purushartha is being denied by when we say na dhanam. When we say na janam, then Kama Purushartha, because relatives and children, all these are for enjoyment. No? So no enjoyment. So Kama Purushartha is being denied when we are telling no na janam. Na sundarim kavitam va, na sundarim kavita, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took them together. So beautiful poetry, beautiful poetic words, or beautiful flowery language of the Vedas. Vedas describe the karma kandas. So that is the dharma principle. So na sundarim kavitam is actually corresponding to the dharma purushartha. And mama janmani, we are telling I want to be born, take birth again and again. That means we are not asking for liberation. So mama janmani is actually corresponding to the moksha purushartha. So these four purusharthas are being denied by the devotees, are to be denied by the devotees, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also doing the same thing here. So nada renouncing the purusharthas. So in renouncing the purusharthas, so how much should we in our day-to-day life renounce the purusharthas? What is actually the right renunciation and what is immature renunciation? Prabhuji is explaining with the help of the story famous in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We all know Daksha's two sets of children, the Haryashvas and the Shalyashvas, and how Narada Muni preached them and Daksha became upset with them. Yeah, in that context, he will explain to us how much of renunciation or what is actually renunciation of Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim and Kavitam for us, especially Grihasthas. So, Prabhuji is explaining that renunciation is actually happens in two ways. First thing is we naturally have that renunciation, no? Genuine realization that all these are not helpful for my Krishna consciousness. These are actually impairing my bhakti. I don't want them. No, fully convinced that genuinely you are a vairagi. You don't want them. That is called a naisargika bhava. That renunciation is that vairagya is in the naisargika bhava. But there is another renunciation which is in the Bhadyata Moolam. He calls it Bhadyata Moolam. That means it's a forcible realization. We actually don't have the genuine realization, but we have heard so much theoretically. We have heard from devotees. We are reading in the Shastras. So we know I am not yet there, but someday I have to get there. You know that, and you try to forcibly implement it. It is actually not there, but we are faking it till then. So, but by forcing uh, realization, we will never be able to achieve success. Realization has to come gradually and genuinely. The Prabhuji was telling there is a saying in Bengali, Gada Pita iya, Gada Pita iya, Goda Karite Paena. If you beat the donkey with a stick, it will never become a Goda. Goda is horse. Similarly, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also gives one more example that if you have a kacha mango, mavidi kai, no, raw mango, and you take a stick and you keep beating it, will it become a ripe mango, a juicy yellow mango? No, right? So similarly, a bhadyata moolam or a forcible realization cannot become a naisargika bhava, a genuine realization. So for a raw mango to become a ripe mango, what all is required? First thing is the mango should stay connected to the tree, and then the right warmth should be there. And above all this, the time should be given. You know, when as time passes, slowly the raw mango will become into a ripe mango. So similarly, for this ripening to happen, for a devotee's realization to become genuine and naisargiki, uh, one has to give that time. Most of us people in this world are all in the Bhadyata Moolam phase only. None of us have a Naisargiki Bhava in Vairagya. And so, then why are we reciting every day morning after Mangalarti is over, Tulsi Arti is over, we are reciting, if we are all reciting Siksastakam. So when we are praying, na Dhanam, na Janam, na Sundarim, Kavitamba, Jagadisha Kamaye, Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware, Bhavatat Bhakti Rahaitu Ki Tvai. Are we really sure we don't want money? Tomorrow we have to pay fees and then rent is there, gas fellow will come, and then now cylinder is scarce. It is so much. Our mind is actually going around money and people and all this. Are we really okay to not have money, not have people, and not have any fame, no appreciation? We do some service and somebody appreciates less also, we become so agitated. Yesterday we have seen some case studies in our slate program that we are all devotees, but we are all not yet there. We have just started the path. We are all still sadhakas. So, these completely, we cannot say no to all these while still not being there. So that is that will be an immature renunciation. So while we recite these, so how should our consciousness be? So when we recite this, we do it with a knowledge that we are not at this level. We are not at this level, but we are saying this. Is that not mithyachara? Is that not duplicacy? Actually, Mahatma means what? Manasi ekam, vachasi ekam, karmanyekam Mahatmanah. Manasi anyam, vachasi anyam, karmanyanyam duratmanah. That means every day morning I am reciting Nadanam Najanam. Then I am coming in front of Sudarshan and telling, I want this, I want that. So I am actually being fake. So how do I understand this? Should I stop reciting the fourth Siksastakam verse in the morning? How do we go about reciting this prayer? While we recite this prayer, what should our consciousness be? But that Prabhuji told that we are reciting it as a part of Sri Siksastakam. because we want to keep up Mahaprabhu's word. And by reciting the whole Siksastakam, I am pleasing Sri Mahaprabhu. Just to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I am I am reciting this. I aspire for it, but I know that currently I am not, and I am not at this stage. I am unable to have this realization. And with that clarity, we should pray. Oh Lord, I am not at this level, but I am reciting this prayer with all my heart to give pleasure to you, to keep up your words, and to someday I aspire to get to that level. So with that genuine humility, with the prayer to Sri Mahaprabhu, with the intention to please Mahaprabhu, we recite this verse during our morning program. And regarding renunciation, what is right renunciation? What is immature renunciation? So we all know this story where Narada Muni preached. Daksha had one set of sons called Haryashvas. Narada Muni preached all of them. They all took to renunciation. And then there was what's the second set of sons? Shavalashvas. The Shavalashvas also, they all again took to renunciation. Daksha became very angry. First time, okay, brother, hey, he didn't say anything. Second time, Daksha was very, very angry. He was upset with Narada Muni. So he says that there's a verse that Daksha says here. नेत्तं पुंसां विरागस्यात् त्वया केवलिनां मृषा मन्यसे यदि उपशमं स्नेहपाशनिकृन्तनम्. Renunciation cannot in this way be generated in the minds of men by you who have disguised yourself as an avaduta. Although you have no knowledge, you are completely wrong if you think that renunciation and self-control automatically cut away the bonds of affection for material enjoyment. He says that without actually having genuine vairagya, if you artificially renounce, the affectionate ties for the family and people are still there. That is not real renunciation. So actually, this is very true. This is what actually the Lord is also supporting. What is that verse? Mithyacharasa uchyate. So that false renunciation, even the Lord is actually condemning. So why are we calling Daksha wrong? We all know that in this scene of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are all with Narada Muni and we are all calling Daksha wrong. All the acharyas who have commented on this verse also, Prabhuji says that people, what the acharyas told is wrong in the verse is Daksha's attitude towards Narada and the callous words he used towards Narada. He actually blasphemed Narada Muni, who is a pure devotee of the Lord, who is actually the ambassador of pure bhakti. Narada Muni, with his potency, with his realizations, and he is such a stalwart guru that he could elevate the Haryashvas and the Shavalashvas to the renunciation state. So they could take to renunciation. But what Daksha says is, this cannot be a norm in the world. Most of the people are not there yet. And if everybody takes to Vairagya, this gradual achievement of Vairagya will not be there. That means you're destroying the Varna system and the Grihastha, Vanaprastha, the system will not be there. So this, what is an exception, you cannot make it a regular thing. That is what Daksha is telling. So because he blasphemed Narada and he cursed Narada, Narada didn't say anything. Narada accepted the curse as a boon and he continued his preaching. So what the acharyas explained here is why Narada did not retort to Daksha was, Narada also knows that what Daksha is telling is correct. The logic is correct. But what is wrong on Daksha's part is blaspheming Narada Muni and calling him as a fake avaduta. Daksha's blasphemous nature is very wrong. That is why he had to undergo the repercussions later. But his formula that Vairagya is not meant to be instant. For most of the people, Vairagya has to be gradual, and only by theoretical knowledge of the repercussions of sense enjoyment, one cannot really become detached. That was Daksha's argument. He says that only when one enjoys, then he can detach completely. So how is it, even after enjoying also, the desire for detachment, the desire for enjoyment may still be there. So, but the painful impact of the desire is already known to the jiva. So he is more willing to give up sense enjoyment after knowing the bad effects experientially. He says that everybody cannot be a exceptional case. So the regular cases go through all the four varnas, ashramas, and then after practically understanding the painful repercussions of sense gratification, then naturally and genuinely that Naisargika Bhava will come. So he says here, let me read the verse. Nanubhuya na janati. One who does not experience will not know. Puman Vishya Tikshnatam. How Tikshna, how strong is the impact of indulgence in the Vishayas. One who does not experience will not know. Nanubhuya na janati. Puman Vishya Tikshnatam. Nirvidyate Swayam Tasma Natata Binna Deepare. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 6.5.41. The previous one was 6.5.40. So here Daksha is telling a man cannot realize how objects of sensual pleasure cause painful consequences without personally experiencing them. Therefore, someone who has directly experienced the pain of material enjoyment gives up that enjoyment naturally, whereas a person brainwashed by someone else for renunciation cannot achieve the same result. So here he is actually undermining the power of Narada Muni. By Narada Muni's realized profound teachings, the Haryashvas and Shavalashvas have renounced. But Daksha says that this cannot be the case for everybody in the world. Everybody cannot directly take to renunciation. Sometimes by directly taking to renunciation and coming back to the path of pravritti, they will have that is more bad. Actually, waiting till you get the Naisargika Bhava and then renouncing is better than immaturely renouncing and then coming back again into sense gratification. That is Daksha's logic, and this is actually supported by the Lord also in Bhagavad Gita 3.6. Karmendriyani samyamya yaste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimoodatma mityacharasa uchyate. One who restrains the senses, senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense of, say, I am not eating non-veg, but I'm always thinking of non-veg. I am not going to some cinema, but I'm always thinking of cinema. So what's happening is the pratyahara is happening only to the gyanendriyas, but the mind is still dwelling. So such renunciation, indriyarthan vimoodatma mityachara uchyate. Such renunciation is false, and such a person is called a mityachara or a pretender. And then there is one verse from the Bhagavatam also, which is supporting the same thing what Bhagavan told in Bhagavad Gita. This is from Bhagavatam 11th canto 20th chapter 26th verse. Svesvedikare yanishta saguna parikirtitaha. It is firmly declared that steady adherence of transcendentalists, not general people, transcendentalists means one who is in the path of spirituality, one who is actually endeavoring to know who am I, who is the Supreme Lord, how to get to the Supreme Lord, one who is on the path of transcendence. Such person also, it is good that they adhere to their respective spiritual positions. That constitutes real piety, and that sin occurs when a transcendentalist neglects his prescribed duty. I am a transcendentalist with this pretext. If one gives up his duty, just with the pretext of being a transcendentalist, then that is sinful. So Srimad Bhagavatam is also not supporting that. Yavadartham upasino. This is actually Prahlad Maharaj's episode is told in the 7th canto elaborately. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. Pure devotional service is elaborately explained. After that, we see a samvada between Narada Muni, the renunciant, and Yudhishthira, the king. They are discussing about the duties of householders, the duties of the four varnas, how to conduct a shraddha, how many people to call. So all these. So in that context, Narada Muni is telling about what is dhanam for a household. So the mature conclusion is, till you do not have a natural and naisargiki genuine realization that I do not want money, I do not want janam, don't artificially renounce. Immature renunciation will cause a problem to your path of devotional service. Your progress in devotional service will be hampered if you renounce without actually having that genuine renunciation feeling. And then Prabhuji is explaining what is dhanam for the householder and what is janam for the householder. So Narada Muni is telling in Srimad Bhagavatam 7:14-5, Yavadartham upasino dehe gehe cha pandita virakto raktavat tatra driloke naratam nyaset. So a householder should earn for his livelihood. So while working to earn his livelihood, as much as necessary to maintain body and soul together. So it's not that I am not yet there, so I'll keep earning, earning, earning. No. How much to earn? Earn as much as to keep the soul and body together. And one who's actually learned should live in human society, unattached to family affairs, although externally appearing very much attached. You should not show your renunciation externally. Your renunciation should be internal, and earn only as much as required to fulfill your duties to keep the body and soul together. What is allocated for you in your varna, in your ashrama, for your responsibilities, what is needed for a comfortable going on of everyday life, so that it does not affect your spirit. Only that much has to be earned. More than that will become atyahara. And also, according to Ishopanishad, if you take more than that is allotted to you, then it becomes chaurya. No, it is bunj ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita. Leaving that, if you eat more, tena tyaktena bunjita magrudas kasya sviddanam. So that is not yours. You will be called a thief if you enjoy more than what is allotted to you. So Narada Muni is explaining to Yudhishthir Maharaj that Yavad Artham Upani. So that much Artha should be there, Dhanam should be there, which is necessary to fulfill the duties of your Varna and Ashram. And then what about Janam? He explains in the next verse. Gnataya Pitarau Putra, Bratara Sukrudopar. If you say na Janam, then no more Janam for you. Then why is he talking about Pitarau, Putra, Bratara, Sukruda? So what should you do? You should keep all of them. When they say something, you should say yes, yes, yes. But you shouldn't take their advices seriously. You should focus on your spiritual goals and work according to the instructions of your spiritual master. But you shouldn't dismiss them. No, nadanam, najanam, I don't want you all get lost. I have become a devotee now. I cannot take your advice. We don't talk like this. So Narada Muni is carefully advising. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from friends, that will definitely be there. Suggestions are what everybody wants to give. So when suggestions are there, what should you do with the suggestions? Here he says that when there are suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying, yes, yes, that is all right. What you said is correct. But internally, he should be determined not to make a cumbersome effort in life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. You should listen to everybody, say yes, 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 that is good, we should do like this, let's do like this. But then you should follow your plan for your devotional service. So for a grihastha devotee, na dhanam and na janam are, I do not want money more than that is required for the fulfillment of my duties. More than that is required for keeping my body and soul together. Na janam. I do not want interactions with janam to the extent that it will impair my spiritual process. So you keep minimal relationship and then fulfill your duties in your varna and ashrama. But internally try to become more renounced. Do not have attachment with wealth and people. That is the advice of Narada Muni. And there's further discussion about how one should not be attached to fame and poetic abilities. That we will see in the next class. And while discussing this verse in his Siksastakam book, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu is also mentioning about the 6 characteristics of Sharanagati. So, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhaktirahaitu ki tvayi. When we are asking for bhavatat bhaktirahaitu ki tvayi, we are telling, oh Lord, I do not want anything. I just want your pure devotional service. This is complete dependence on the Supreme Lord. One has to completely surrender to the Supreme Lord. Only then that Shuddha Bhakti Amboda, the Sukha Amboda of Shuddha Bhakti will appear in one's heart. So you keep telling your children, you have to be a good girl, you have to be a good girl, you have to be a good girl. Then she should know what is actually being a good girl. Only then the child will become a good girl. So being a good girl is you don't beat the brother, you finish the box what Amma packs for you, don't tear papers from the book, don't nibble behind the pencil. There are some things, no? So we are always told you should do complete Sharanagati to the Lord, complete Sharanagati to the Lord. So what is actually Sharanagati? It's explained in Haribhakti Vilasa by Sanatan Goswami. Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam, rakshishyati iti vishwaso, goptritve varanam tata, atmanikshepa karpanyo, shadvida sharanagati. These 6 steps, when all these 6 steps are followed, then you are considered a surrendered devotee. Anukulyasya sankalpa, whatever is favorable for devotional service, you accept. So humility, and then pridelessness, giving respect to others. All these are telling about Anukulyasya sankalpa. So the third verse of Siksastakam is highlighting the Anukulyasya sankalpa. Then Pratikulyasya varjanam, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamai. So Janma, Aishwarya, Shuta, Shribi, all these are highlighting that Pratikulyasya varjanam. These have to be avoided because they are not suitable for your devotional service. Then Rakshishyati iti vishwaso. I know that knowing all these also with my capabilities, with my own endeavor, I will not be able to do this. That is why in this 4th verse, the Mahaprabhu is praying to Jagannatha, oh Jagadisha, oh Jagannatha, may by your mercy, I do not want all this, by your mercy I can get Shuddha Bhakti, please bless me. So Rakshishyati is the Lord is always there for me. And also Goptritve Varnam Tata, he is the maintainer. When we know that Ishavasham Idam Sarvam, he is the maintainer. So I am just a caretaker. This children and this money, this house and my food, everything is actually provided by the Supreme Lord. Then when you know that it is not yours, it is natural that you become detached from it. Actually, the Lord is Akinchana Gochara, Akinchana Vitta. He is the he is actually favorable to the impoverished. But we see that he has also been favorable to kings like Ambarisha, and then Dhruva was also rich, Prahalada was also rich, and Yudhishthir Maharaj was the Samrat of the universe. But they were all also devotees of the Lord. They all also have become a Sampurna Patra for the Lord's mercy. How is it? Because knowing that Goptritve Varnamta, he is the maintainer. All this belongs to the Supreme Lord. They were never attached to their positions. That is why they are all also Akinchanas. And then they could attract the mercy of the Lord. So Anukulyasya sankalpa, Pratikulyasya varjanam, Rakshishyati iti vishwaso, Goptritve varnam tata Atma Nikshepa. And then Atma Nikshepa means I am the property of the Lord. I am the property of the Lord. Whatever he does with me, I accept. That acceptance. And then Atmanish Karpanya. Karpanya is same as Dainya. So we have seen today the reciprocal relationship between Dainya and Prema. As Dainya increases, Prema appears. As Prema increases, Dainya appears, and Dainya is increasing, Prema is increasing more. In that way, they both are both Karana and Karya. Karya Karanatvat. We have seen that verse. So what we can start off, where do we start our renunciation in the householder life, in our sadhaka life? How do we practice nadanam, najanam, na sundarim? Is the first thumb rule is pratikulyasya anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. So how much is anukula for me? How much is anukula for you may be different. So what amount of dhanam or janam is making us proud or taking us away from our Krishna conscious practices, one has to decide for oneself in the able guidance of our immediate superiors, our counselors, our seniors, our gurus, Siksha gurus, and then accordingly accept dhanam and janam to that amount that is required for keeping up your duties in the Parnashramas, and to the extent which does not hamper your devotional practices. So I end today's class here. We will discuss more on the more practical aspects of Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundari in our coming class. So if there's anything Matajis want to add or correct me? You can do now. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare